LawSikho's thorough newspaper analysis for 22nd of February 2024. Now, let us start with the today's agenda of the day, where we'll be discussing some interesting editorial session which was related to Fali S Nariman, 9 notable cases of the late jurist, which this particular editorial we are discussing from the Indian Express. Then we'll be discussing some interesting the news update, and lastly the legal news update which is coming from the Honorable Supreme Court of India. Now, let us start with the 9 notable cases of the late jurist, Mr. Fali S. Nariman. Eminent jurist and senior advocate passed away on 21st of February and he was 95 years old. His career was spanned around 75 years, with last half century being spent as a senior advocate of the Supreme Court of India. During this time, he left an imprint on the law and the legal profession in a vast array of landmark cases. So here we are discussing some 9 notable cases which was dealt by Mr. Fali S. Nariman and what was the viewpoint of the Honorable Supreme Court back then. So very important case, second judge's case, Advocates on Record Association versus Union of India. It was a 5 judges bench of Supreme Court in 1981 which gave the verdict that the central government final say in matter regarding judicial appointment and transfer by allowing the president to refuse recommendation made by Chief Justice of India. The court held that the requirement under Article 124 of the Constitution that CGI must be consulted means that there must be an exchange of views and there is no necessity of the concurrence between the CGI and the President. Now, Supreme Court Advocate on Record Association challenged the decision in 1987 and was represented by senior advocate Fali Nariman among a host of other senior lawyers. Now, Nariman argued here that the consultation in the context of judicial appointment means more than merely seeking advice. He stated that advice given through consultation with the CGI must be seen as binding in order to protect the independence of judiciary. Now, in 1993, the 9-judge bench agreed with the Nariman's argument and established that the Supreme Court collegium must be there. It's a body comprising senior-most Supreme Court judge, which is tasked with making binding recommendations for appointment of judges and high courts. So this is a very important judgment coming up for the judge's appointment, and his viewpoint was taken into consideration by the Honorable Supreme Court of India. Now, third judge's case. The President of India, R.K.R. Narayanan, exercises power under Article 143 to send a reference to the Supreme Court for the later opinion on questions of law that may have public importance and ask for the clarification on the procedure for appointment of judges. Now, very important case coming here for discussion is the NJAC case, which is National Judicial Appointment Commission. And Nariman would also appear in the latest chapter of the judge appointment challenging NJAC 2014. Now, NJAC amended the constitution to insert 124A, which created a 6-person committee for judicial appointment. Now, what commission would comprise of? One would be CGI. There would be 2 senior-most Supreme Court judges. One would be Union Minister of Law and Justice. And then 2 eminent persons would comprise nominated by a committee comprised of CGI, Prime Minister and Leader of Opposition. Now, Nariman represented SCAORA and the case and argued that NJAC would impugn upon the independence of judiciary. 4 of the 5 judges on the bench agreed with the view in 2015 and struck down NJAC. So this was the third important case which was dealt with Shri Fali S. Nariman. Now, Parliament cannot curtail fundamental rights, which was held in IC Golatnath, was the state of Punjab, and here again Fali S. Nariman was represented and he appeared on behalf of the interveners in the case who supported the petitioners. They argued that Parliament's power to amend the Constitution does not include article contained in Part 3 of the Constitution dealing with fundamental rights. The majority of 6 judges from the 11-judge bench agreed with the petitioner's submission, pointing out that Article 13 subclause 2 states that Parliament cannot make a law which infringes the fundamental rights. Again, a notable case coming, which is Bhopal gas tragedy, in which 42 tons of toxic chemical was leaked in 1984, which was owned by Union Carbide India Limited, resulting in thousands of deaths and environmental damage in the following years. The Supreme Court began hearing the case for compensation to the victims in 1988, and senior advocate Nariman appeared representing Union Carbide and offered to pay a sum of $246 million as compensation to the victims of the tragedy. Now, again, next case, right of minorities to establish and administer educational institutions, which talk about TMA Pi Foundation versus State of Karnataka, where Nariman argued that the landmark TMA Pi case in support of minority rights to establish and administer educational institutions or under Article 31 of the Constitution. The court held linguistic and religious minority have to be determined on state-by-state basis, and that the government has the power to frame regulations which will apply to minority-run educational institutions. So TMA Pi Foundation was also argued by Fali S Nariman. Now, seventh case, governor to act only upon aid and advice of Chief Minister Nabam Rebia and Bebang Felix versus Deputy Speaker, in which the Nariman on behalf of the House Whip Babang Felix argued that the governor did not have the power to advance the assembly session, as this could only be done upon the aid and advice of the Council of Ministers and the Chief Minister. Now, obtaining bail for former Tamil Nadu CM, that is Jayalalitha versus State of Tamil Nadu. Again, Fali S Nariman was representing here, and Fali S Nariman was represented and appeared on behalf of Jayalalitha in October 24 and convinced the court to grant bail, again executing the fine and suspend sentence passed by the session judge in Bangalore. And the next case, which is the Kaveri water dispute between state of Tamil Nadu and Karnataka, in which Nariman represented Karnataka for over 30 long years. In 2016, Supreme Court ordered the Karnataka government to release 6,000 cubic feet per second of water. Now, in the final judgment, the court took note of Nariman's stand on the issue and observed, we think necessary to state here that Mr. Nariman had courageously lived up to the highest tradition of the bar. So this were the sentences which was, there in the judgment itself of the court, and a very renowned jurist we have lost. And these are some important cases which were dealt with the eminent jurist Fali S Nariman. Hope we remember them and we read books and we learn what he gave us to the society as a whole. Now, coming up to the national news, where Pranati Nayak wins bronze medal in vault at FIG Apparatus World Cup 2024 in Cairo. India's Pranati Nayak won the bronze medal in the women's vault event at the FIG Artistic Gymnastic Apparatus World Cup 2024 in Cairo, Egypt. The Cairo meet is the first leg of the FIG Apparatus World Cup 2024. He is 28-year-old Pranati, a Tokyo Olympian, will next compete in Baku and Doha legs of the FIG World Cup. Shashi Tharoor conferred with France's highest civilian award. So the France highest civilian award, Chevalier de la Légion d'Honneur, has been conferred to Shashi Tharoor, a diplomat turned politician. The highest French civilian award came in recognition tireless efforts to deepen Indo-French ties, commitment to international peace and cooperation, and as a long-standing friend of France. This particular award was instituted in 1802 by Napoleon Bonaparte and is the highest civilian award given by the French Republic for outstanding service to France, regardless of nationality. Now, let us talk about the Indian Civilian Awards, where Bharat Ratna is the first degree of the honor. Then Padma Vibhushan comes, and Padma Bhushan, and then Padma Shri. Sonia, Nadda, Chavan and Deora among 41 elected unopposed as Rajya Sabha MPs. So these are among the 41 candidates elected unopposed to Rajya Sabha. Himachal Pradesh, Karnataka and Uttar Pradesh will witness polling on remaining 15 seats on February 27. As per Article 80 of the Constitution here, lays down maximum strength of Rajya Sabha as 250, out of which 12 members are nominated by our Honorable President and 238 are representative of the states and the 3 UTs. Women Premier League 2024. So Women Premier League will start on 23rd February. Now, last year, finalists Mumbai Indians and Delhi Capitals will be competing in the open match in Bangalore. Delhi Capitals, Gujarat Giants, Mumbai Indians, Royal Challengers, Bangalore and UP Warriors are the final teams for WPL 2024, which is starting on 23rd of Feb. Now, let us talk about some important days where International Mother Tongue Day of 2024 is celebrated and observed on 21st Feb. When it comes to history of this particular day, in November 1999, the General Conference of United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization proclaimed International Mother Language Day, which was later welcomed by the General Assembly of the UN. The theme of this year, International Mother Language Day, is multilingual education, a pillar of learning and intergenerational learning. When I want to link here Constitution, I will be talking about the provision which relates to official languages, which is mentioned in Chapter 17 and includes Article 343 to 351, which is mentioned in the 8th schedule. Pakistan, PPP and PML-N agree to form coalition government. So context behind this particular news is parliamentary election were held in Pak on February 8 and there was no clear winner. So top 3 parties, that is Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, that is PTI, and it's a former Imran Khan party. Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz of another former PM Nawaz Sharif, and Pakistan People Party led by Bilawal Bhutto Zarhadiri. Despite Imran Khan detention, independent candidate backed by PTI won 93 assembly seats. PML-N, which is led by Muslim League Nawaz, won 75 and PPP came in third with 54 seats. Now, no party had a clear majority and then there was a coalition government formed between PPP and PML-N. Latest development regarding the government formation, Bilawal Bhutto Zardari, the leader of Pakistan People Party, had announced an agreement that his party has reached with Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz to form a coalition government. Okay? This is all about the political understanding of Pakistan government. Now, let us talk about the Supreme Court ruling coming up, where Supreme Court is giving a very good ruling. Judicial decision does not infringe fundamental right. So Supreme Court recently again reiterated the principle that judicial decision cannot be challenged as infringing the fundamental right. It is to be noted that it has been laid down in Naresh Sridhar Mirachkar versus State of Maharashtra that judicial decision rendered by a judge of competent jurisdiction in or in relation to a matter brought before him does not infringe a fundamental right. And the case name is Ganpat versus State of UP. Now, next Supreme Court judgment coming up where delay occurred in filing appeal against acquittal under Section 378 CrPC. Under Section 378 CrPC can be condoned under Limitation Act. So here what court is stating the fact that delay that occurred in preferring an appeal against the acquittal can be condoned under Section 5. So here what court is referring to? Court is referring to an appeal against the acquittal which is there under Section 378 CrPC and Section 5 of the Limitation Act. The bench further held that the benefit of Section 5 read with 2 and 3 of Limitation Act can therefore be availed in appeal against acquittal. So the court has said that if there is a delay in filing an appeal from an acquittal, it can be condoned under Section 5 of the Limitation Act, and very important judgment for judicial services aspirant coming from the case of Muhammad Abad Ali versus Directorate of Revenue Prosecution Intelligence. Now, guys, if you want to revise your previous TNA, then do attempt the daily quiz link that is mentioned in the description of this particular video. We on a regular basis, bring a daily quiz link of 10 questions so that you can revise your TNAs. And please do like the channel, because this is free for you. Because this is certainly free for you, but it will help us to grow. And if you like this particular whole video and it is very informative, do share with your friends and family members. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Take care.